What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here bringing another video. Today I'm bringing you a video on Powerpuff Girls episode 26 review. This episode is for in the is for the new episode, which is called "In the Garden of Good and Eddie." It's an interesting episode. It's okay. It does have a returning character, which is good. It's not a returning character that I've been wanting, but it's still not bad. We'll get into it. Anyway, the episode starts off with the girls trying to do some gardening. They're gonna create a garden for Veggie Fest, which is some festival that's going on in the town of Townsville. So they end up gardening. They're all happy. They're thinking they're gonna have the best garden ever, and they're gonna win. And like Buttercup specifically is like she wants to win, and then she can smash all the other people's vegetables because she's tough. She's rough. She's like that. Buttercup is, Bubbles is blamed like crazy during this episode for like all their mistakes. So later on, like a week later happens, and then suddenly their garden is completely ruined, and it's 2 days before the festival. So what happens is that prior to that, you have them in their kitchen, eating food, and then like Bubbles is trying to find a prize, which is not even there, but like she keeps on dropping cereal, or like the second time around, it's like she drops waffles like out because she thinks there's prizes in each of these, but there's no prize. And the professor would always say like, "Oh, so how's your garden going?" And so the thing is that they would always find out. And so the thing is that when they ended up checking and seeing that it was ruined, they ended up getting every single type of fertilizer and like 5 seeds. And they end up planting a new garden. Next morning, one day before the festival, they wake up and they see, and same situation happened. In this case, it's the waffle situation, and then they're like, "Oh, so how's the garden going?" The professor says, and then they go out and check. The garden is massive. It is larger than they are as people, so it is very, very high up, and I mean like, it's gigantic. The thing is that they have tons of tomato plants and everything, but suddenly as they're walking through it, the garden gets eaten up, and that you can hear a loud chomping and a lot of noise, and so they're all worried, like, what could it be? What is doing this? So they end up figuring out that the thing that they're hearing is a tomato worm. At least that's what they're referring it to as, even though in reality it's pretty obvious to begin with. It's a caterpillar. The caterpillar is known as Eddie. I mean, it's its nickname, but it's a girl. Whatever. Anyway, point is that Eddie likes to eat all sorts of tomatoes and all that other stuff. And Eddie was really tiny, but like because of the garden getting so big, it ate everything and it got really big and it grew to a huge size. And anyway, Eddie's a really annoying character apparently, and everyone blames Bubbles for like these mistakes and treats her like, yeah, it's all your fault. Like it's it's one of the worst things when people do that kind of stuff to people. It's awful. Anyway, thing is that they end up talking about Veggie Fest, and the thing is that like Eddie hears about it and is like, "Oh, can I come too?" And the thing is that it's like when they end up mentioning it, it's like, I guess we'll try it. Might as well see how it works out. So you end up seeing a fast forwarded clip which shows all this annoying conversation, continuous conversation, eating, and all this other stuff. And the thing is that basically it's like Eddie's annoying. Eddie likes to eat a lot, Eddie likes to talk a lot, and Eddie's annoying. Thing is that they end up going to Veggie Fest eventually. There's like all sorts of vegetables. There's just like this kid that like hates vegetables like crazy, and like there's like and his mother's given like the largest not cucumber, zucchini, and like he's like, "No, I can't eat vegetables. I hate vegetables. Little so and so doesn't like vegetables or whatever." And then something that happens is that like Eddie ends up eating, or I think he ends up smashing the zucchini, and then like this kid's like, "Yes, that's so great." And so there's all these situations. He ends up even knocking into a ton of different vegetables, like squash, potatoes, asparagus, all sorts of stuff gets ruined, and he's treated poorly. And then eventually Eddie ends up eating their tomato, which they have like one tomato that they managed to save from Eddie. And the thing is that Eddie ends up eating it because Eddie was blamed was blamed for everything, and Eddie gets anxious a lot. So when Eddie eats the tomato, that's when they all are like, that's the last straw, and they start like complaining and going on a rant. And then eventually, Bubbles is the one that ends up saying all this really, really nasty talk. But the thing is that they have a truck going over it, just basically to bleep it out. But you don't have any idea what she's actually saying. You just know that she must be saying something really terrible to Eddie. Eddie's upset. Eddie's like, I understand, and then gets all upset and then leaves them. And they feel bad for what they did, and they feel bad for this whole entire situation. So then eventually we end up seeing Mojo Jojo has returned. This time he has a garlic monster with him who is going to rampage, because the thing is that he came in second place during the last Veggie Fest with his prize broccoli. Thing is that he wanted to come in first, obviously. So the thing is that he ends up attacking the city, attacking the festival, trying to make it so that he's the only one that's left. All the other vegetables are gone, and he wins. So he ends up having this onion monster, and he has like special goggles which he ends up removing. And the thing is that the goggles were meant to prevent him from like tearing up from the garlic. But the thing is that he ends up removing them temporarily, and then he ends up, actually, was it the onion? Onion. It was an onion monster, and the thing is that like his eyes are tearing up or whatever, and it's like, why would you even remove them? Just say that like this is what happens. It's like, why would you remove them and then suddenly have them tear up and then put them back on? It's just like, no, don't do that. Like, you're just like ruining yourself. Anyway, they end up doing all that stuff, and they're all worried. And the thing is that like, this onion monster is doing really well, and like they're at the point where like they're just gonna lose, and then suddenly what happens is that Eddie, without anyone knowing and anyone expecting, chomps away and eats up the majority of the onion monster. At that point, Mojo's in distress, and then Eddie's like, oh, did I do something wrong? Oh my god, I ate that. Oh, I feel so bad now. Thing is that like they're like, no, you did the right thing, and then they forgive Eddie, and Eddie suddenly freezes up in the mid-process of all that and becomes a butterfly. As I said before, that's what I was guessing it was, a butterfly, a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. They refer to it as a tomato worm, but I think but like sometimes they do that, but I think that it was meant to be I think that like they just didn't do it well. The thing was, it actually looked nice until eventually it's like its stomach grew out, and then you saw Eddie as this bigger being, since it grew so much in the past, so it didn't look as attractive as it had before. It just had wings now, but it doesn't fly very well. Instead, it kind of like hovers in this like constant spinning motion, which is not very good, obviously. But the thing is that Eddie ends up traveling away, and the girls don't have to see Eddie anymore, which is nice, because Eddie's annoying still, even if they love Eddie for defeating the onion monster. So all that ends up happening, and eventually the episode basically ends there. And overall, I would say that this episode was okay. It was nice to see Mojo again. So I'm hoping to see more returning characters other than Mojo and Princess Morbox, and we'll see what happens. But this episode was okay. This is episode 26 now, so we will have to wait and see where things go in the future. I'm hoping for some really cool episodes to come in the future, though. I'd love to know your guys' opinions. Did you guys enjoy this episode? What did you guys think? What are you hoping to see next? Currently there's summaries talked about online for like the next for the next 4 more episodes. And there will obviously be more revealed over time, but like there are 4 that are already up online as far as summaries go. So we'll see. Please leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys next time. So, till then, guys, I'm Crazy 71, and check out my channel. Bye.